This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I am Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling. And real quick, I want to talk about, there's actually a cool new feature that we're going to be doing on our show now. Anybody that's in the chats, we are going to start putting up polls every once in a while throughout the episodes, and we're going to get people's opinions on the chats. And when we put out a poll, all you have to do in the chat is type 1, 2, or 3, and it'll automatically add your answer to the percentages. So, you know, that's going to be really cool when we do that. And also, you know, there's a bunch of cool new features that are going on. But before we get going, Jay, we want to take a moment. Like I said, each episode, we're gonna just feature a new product from maxassociates.etsy.com, which is a really cool website. In fact, right here, if you scan the QR code right there at the top right, it'll take you straight to it. It is a patriotic apparel and USA Pride gift shop. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Like I said, me and Jay shop there ourselves. But here's the product I wanted to show everybody. Check this out, Jay. This is Americans Over Illegals coffee mug. I love it because who the hell doesn't want Americans over illegals, right?
Democrats.
Well, yeah. Well, Democrats don't watch the show, so it don't really matter. But yeah, so you know, it's really awesome. You know, it says $22, but you get automatically, look at the bottom right there, save 20% when you spend $20 or more at the shop. So that right there is automatically 20% off, and you get free shipping anywhere in the US. So this is just one of the many products on there. Make sure you check it out. I can promise you love it. And throughout the show, we're going to put the Max Associates QR code up at the top right. In case you don't get a chance to scan it, you can scan it at any time throughout the show. It's going to be, you know, going back and forth on the show. All right, Jay. The first thing, actually, I want to see who's in the chat right now. Well, when for some reason Deborah and Shirley are not here, you know, they're usually here in the chat. I want to get their opinions on this as well as Raina's. When some more people get in, we're going to actually put the a poll up because I want to try that. We haven't gotten to try that yet. And that's a pretty cool feature, I think, if you ask me. Something new anyway.
I like it. All
right, so Jay, the first thing I want to talk about is something that's actually pretty awesome, I think. I was not much for the new DHS secretary. I mean, Mark Wayne, he had a terrible showing at January 6th. The things that he said, the things that he did, horrible, weak. I mean, the man was hiding behind the frickin', hiding behind the pew when everybody else was standing. He was hiding behind the pew on his knees, no less.
Yeah, and he praised Michael Byrd that day. He didn't have a great day that day, that's for sure.
He praised Michael Byrd. That was the worst part. I mean, forget the man being on his knees and cowering when he's supposed to be this big tough guy. He's cowering for people that are just taking photos in the Capitol. But he actually praised Michael Byrd. That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no coming back from that, if you ask me. But the reason that
he's got a chance, Jack. He's got a chance to come back from it. Let's see what he does.
Well, I guess. But the reason I'm bringing it up anyway is because he actually came up with a great idea. And I think this is a brilliant idea. DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen said that customs officials may stop processing international travelers at airports in sanctuary cities. I think that's brilliant because what that's going to do is no international travelers are going to be able to go to New York or LA without going through some kind of connecting flight or something. I think that's brilliant, and it's going to force New York or LA to either not be a sanctuary city or get a hell of a lot less tourism from outside the country, which those are big international tourist spots.
Yeah, I saw that. And it's, he's got to cut costs, Jack, because they're not funded fully because Democrats don't want to fund them fully or whatever's going on. But regardless whether they get funded fully or not, I think we should save some money that way. And, there'll be a judge that comes out and plays DHS secretary and tries to block it like they do everything. It'll have to be appealed most likely. But I say go for it. I love it. And like you said, you'll have to take a connecting flight. Or maybe you just won't be able to go there because sanctuary cities are illegal. And how no sanctuary city officials, mayors, governors, council members, whoever are implementing these policies and standing by them, sheriffs, how these people haven't been arrested yet is a great question that you and I always ask. But I'm going to continue asking it because sanctuary cities are illegal. They violate federal law.
Well, they're absolutely illegal. And that's why I think this is brilliant. because it would force sanctuary cities to lose tons of tourism dollars based on their own policies.
Exactly.
So I think it's brilliant, if you ask me. And it's something that's easily enforceable, and they can do that. They don't have to process international travelers. That's not something that they are forced to do by law. That's something that they do as a part of their duties. But as far as I know, it's not something that is enforced upon them by law. I don't hear a judge saying, "Oh, I don't see a judge saying you're going to have to go do this shit."
Oh, well, even though, Jack, you're probably right, I could see a judge saying just that, I decided today that I am Judge Boasberg, and I say that, yes, they have to be doing this. You can't just not do that because you've been doing it for a certain amount of time. Oh, some judge will probably try to say it, Jack, but again, it'll have to be appealed. But I actually do want to see Mark Wayne Mullen implement that first, and let's see how it goes. I think it's a great idea. I agree with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful idea. So let's hope that they get it done. Let's hope they do it. I would love to see it done.
Let's go.
So, I mean, like I said, the guy's a coward and he's an idiot, but if he can come up with some decent ideas, I'll let him slide. I'm still not going to forgive him for that shit. That's unforgivable. Being a coward and what do you call what he did to praising Michael Byrd when he murdered that woman? What do you call that?
I don't think there's one word for it. There's so many things, I can't really.
He's definitely a coward. We saw that.
Yeah, I mean that was a horrible look. That photo, obviously a terrible look, and the whole thing. He had a horrible day. Jack, you know what? There were a lot of Republicans that had a horrible day that day, and they had a horrible weeks and months after as well.
They deserve it, every second of it.
They had a horrible couple of years after January 6, 2021. Let's be honest. Plenty of Republicans who threw President Trump under the bus over January 6th over and over again until they finally realized that he's going to win. And then all of a sudden, kind of went away. But there was plenty of people, Mark Wayne Mullen amongst them, who had bad days and months and weeks and years after it. And listen, he is where he is now. Let's hope he does a good job because he is there. We can't do anything about it. It's his job. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's nothing that we can specifically do about it. You're right. So, Jay, I want to switch gears for a second. I want to talk about something that is probably going to be angering to a lot of people. Apparently, New York City voters are shocked, and I don't see how they're actually shocked. This is something they voted for, that Zoran Mamdani confirms that he will be moving forward with his campaign promise to tax white people at higher rates to help alleviate burdens on black residents. His exact words are, the wealth of a white household in the city of New York is $200,000, while that of a black is $20,000. Those are his exact words, and I don't know where he's getting his numbers from.
I don't know where he's getting his numbers from either, but whose fault is that? Is that the white person's fault? It sounds like your government policies probably suck.
Exactly. Just because the white man is more successful, how are you going to punish them for being more successful?
And what he's saying to me, Jack, is illegal. You're violating federal law.
Illegal,
it's discriminatory. You can't base your policies on color of somebody's skin, on their gender, on their sexual orientation, on their religion. You can't form policy around that when it comes to running a government. So how did these officials in these blue cities and these blue states get away with even saying anything like that? If a red state governor or mayor of a red city said something, anything remotely close to that, they would be skewered, and rightfully so. Well, we're going to skewer Zoran Mamdani. New York City, not everybody there voted for this, but the people that did, especially the white saviors, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope everybody who's white, who's done well for themselves and worked hard to get there, but still, for some reason, thought that voting for Zoran Mamdani was a good idea, enjoy it now. I actually hope in a way that he does hammer you for a little while, just so maybe you'll understand and maybe it'll sink into your thick skull once and for all that these people are dangerous, and you better believe them when they speak.
Well, we'll see what happens. I want to ask real quick. I want to ask the audience. We're going to try this poll thing. Okay. I want you guys to type in the chat. Okay. Is Zoran Mamdani violating the law with this campaign promise? Just type 1 for yes, 2 for no. Just type it in the chat. This is the first time we've done this. We're going to try this. So yeah, just type anybody that's in the chat right now. Type 1. We got a 1
that's
for
me.
A yes, apparently.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm going
we'll
first,
see how
Jack.
it goes. So far, it's all yeses. Everybody's got a yes so far. But yeah, Deborah, Raina. I don't know who Secret America TV is, but they put yes.
Smart.
You know, we got
that's a smart account, Secret America TV.
Yeah, apparently so. So yeah, anybody that put 1, it automatically puts on there, so you can see obviously. And we got Phantom and Rogue Rub and Steven. Everybody's putting a 1. So as you can see, for our first ever poll, is Zorhan Mamdani violating the law with this campaign promise? It is it is a 100% a 100% poll. Yes, he's obviously violating the law, and I would have thought that was obvious, and so does everybody else. I wanted to test that, and it works well. And I guess everybody has common sense that's in the chat right now.
I'm not surprised. Our audience has common sense. Common sense finds common ground, and we have a common sense audience on Secret America, no doubt about it.
Absolutely, and that's the best thing, is because when you're talking to people that don't have common sense, they can't understand what you're saying, so there's really no point in talking to them.
Yeah, well, we have our litmus questions, Jack. Can men get pregnant? That's the first litmus question. Okay.
Oh yeah, but we're not ever putting that on social media.
I think we should make a poll, Jack. Can men get pregnant?
No, we're not ever putting that on social media again. You got us kicked off of TikTok because of that.
That was me?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That was the first strike we ever got on TikTok. You put the title, can men get pregnant? They're like, nope, that's false information or whatever it is.
Can't ask that question.
Oh no. No questions are allowed to be asked here. So Jay, check this out. Apparently, there was a bunch of forensic investigators that re-examined the quote suicide of Kurt Cobain. Now, this happened, probably a few months ago, but there's been some new evidence that has come out, even as much as now. Apparently, there are 5 pieces of evidence, which I cannot see because Daily Mail has some kind of ridiculous paywall. But apparently, there are 5 pieces of evidence now that are showing that Kurt Cobain they're no longer considering it a suicide. It's now considered a murder. However, it's not by the police. These are forensic private investigators. The police are still adamant that it's a suicide. They're not going to change that. Why do you think they won't change that, Jay?
Well, because they don't want to go back on their investigation, I guess, and make themselves look bad if it turns out to be true that he didn't kill himself. And while you're talking about this, Jack, I'm just trying to think. This was 1993, I believe, when Kurt Cobain. Yeah. Okay. Could you imagine if this would have happened today in today's social media climate with Kurt Cobain had done this? I mean, you could kind of compare it to the Charlie Kirk thing or anything that happens there where you have people who are really digging in, you have people talking, you have theories that come out. It would have been a whole different thing. And this probably would have been just addressed years ago. But now that we're in the time we're in, we have certain people who are looking into things, and people have been skeptical for a while, for years, about whether or not Kurt Cobain killed himself or whether he was murdered. They mentioned Courtney Love. They mentioned a lot of things. But I don't know. The thing I'm thinking, Jack, is because they don't want to look bad and have to go back and change the investigation and say they were wrong.
Well, here's some of the things that make it seem like it doesn't seem like it would be possible for him to have committed suicide. First of all, he had very high heroin levels in his system. The toxicology report showed a very high concentration of morphine from the heroin in Cobain's blood, often described, and get this, Jay, 3 times the lethal dose for a non-tolerant user, which means he was a heavy heroin user because he was able to do this. But also, this would have rapidly incapacitated. If it didn't kill him, it would have rapidly incapacitated him, making it impossible for him to inject the dose, handle the shotgun, position it, and pull the trigger. It's highly unlikely. Plus, Jay, when you're on heroin, you're not depressed. I'm sorry. You're not depressed while you're on the drug. In fact, it creates a massive euphoria that is the opposite of depression. That's why people do it. So you're not depressed when you're on the drug. So that right there should be the automatic, there's no way he did this. Also, there's no usable fingerprints on the shotgun, which, it appears to be wiped. How could there be no usable fingerprints? The ejected shell casing's position doesn't even match the gun's orientation. Expected mechanics, if it was fired while he was gripping the barrel, it would have landed in a certain spot, just like blood spatter would have went a certain way. You know what I mean? The left hand gripping the muzzle, the shirt that's in certain areas are consistent with immediate gunshot death. The blood patterns suggest his head was tilted and positioned for some time, which means he was most likely overdosed and incapacitated. Because when you are high on heroin, you've seen the zombie, the people that act like zombies on the roads. Their head is usually tilted and they're unconscious, basically. They're not dead, but they're unconscious. Now, the blood spatter and all of this are consistent with him having been like that for quite some time because the pool of blood was on the right side of his head. Consistent with that happening. And then someone, while he was like that, coming up and blowing his skull off.
And these are all publicly available crime scene photos at this point that people are going over.
Yeah, everything's publicly available, as are the results of the more recent forensic investigations. Receipts for the shotgun and shells found neatly in his pocket.
Yep.
With extra shells lined up. I mean, that just seems... Okay. The note, let's just laugh at that part for a second. The note.
Wait, Jack, Kurt Cobain was OCD apparently.
Yeah. Apparently, before you kill yourself, you're going to make sure you have the receipt for the bullets and the shotgun in your pocket. And then you're going to put extra shells up there like you were definitely going to kill yourself. I mean, that's just insane. But let me tell you, the note that he wrote was addressed to his imaginary childhood friend Boda, which is true. That actually, I mean, not the note, but he did have an imaginary childhood friend named Boda, expressing exhaustion with fame and life. But get this. Have you ever seen the note, Jay? Have you ever seen that note?
I've seen the signature or something at the end it's like a different
it's not just the signature. The suicide part.
All right.
There's one note up here where he expresses frustration like it's like a poem or something, right?
Right.
But then there's an added scrawled part at the bottom that says, I can't stand this. I'm going to kill myself. Tell Courtney I love her, yada, yada, yada. A scrawled part that looks nothing like his handwriting. And the first part of the note is not a suicide note, but the second part that was scrawled on there is. In fact, let me bring that up for everybody to see. I want everybody to see the Cobain suicide note, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, Jay, because this, I mean, just the note itself had to have raised some suspicions. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Okay, it's mind-boggling is what I like to say. All right, check this out, Jay. I'm going to pull this up for you to see, because if you can't tell that this is written by somebody else, then you shouldn't be an investigator, first of all. I mean, that's plain as day. All right, take a look at this. I don't know if you can see it that well, but look at that. So the first part was written by him. Look at the part at the bottom. Please keep going, Courtney, for Frances, for her life, which will be so much happier without me. I love you. I love you.
Right. Yeah.
Look at that.
You're right.
Does that look like it was written by the man who wrote the shit above?
No. Why would he change the big letters? And it's just completely different.
And why would he change his handwriting at all?
Yeah, completely different pattern. Did a handwriting expert did the police in this investigation, do we know if they ever actually had a handwriting expert analyze that note?
Let me tell you. So they had the handwriting that some forensic document examiners claim shows differences in the final lines. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Peace, love, empathy, Kurt Cobain, plus a post-signature addition to his wife and daughter. These lines are alleged to be in a different handwriting or added later, possibly matching practice writing linked to Courtney Love. Courtney Love is linked to this type of handwriting. The main body matches Cobain's writing, but the deviations fuel claims of forgery or tampering to make it look suicidal. Linguistic analysis, Jay, which you were asking about, linguistic analysis have varied, but the police, and Jay, you know this better than anybody, the police, when they zero in on a suspect, they have a confirmation bias once they zero in on a suspect. They will look for evidence to confirm that theory. They're not going to go in another direction unless the evidence is overwhelming. And even then, they try not to.
I mean, in this case, I always think of motive. What would the motive be to rule this a suicide? To go out of your way to do so?
That's the thing. You had to go out of your way. It's clearly a murder.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's enough things here. At the very least, it's been 33 years. Reopen the damn investigation. All those people are gone. Everybody that was involved in that investigation is gone. You're not going to be embarrassing anybody. You're not going to be, soiling anybody's work. They're gone. They're retired. Reopen the investigation. There's enough here in this Kurt Cobain case to actually reopen this and try to actually get to the bottom of this once and for all, because there are so many things. The letter, what we talked about with the blood spatter, with the stage elements, the cap syringes nearby, the bullet receipts, the body positioning, claims in the suicide note, the different handwriting, the forced heroin overdose to incapacitate him, then shot him. That's a stage suicide, including moving the body. There's a lot here. So I don't understand what the resistance is to reopening this investigation on Kurt Cobain, because from everything we're looking at, just common sense wise, at the very least, a new investigation is warranted.
I want you to hear this. On April 2nd, 1994, the murder took place in 1994. On April 2nd, 1994, Kurt Cobain took a taxi to a Seattle gun shop where he purchased and received a receipt for the shotgun shells. But listen to this. That was on April 2nd, right?
Yep.
His body was discovered April 8th, but the receipt was in his pocket. 6 days later, the receipt was in his pocket.
Same pants, Jack. He wore the same pants and just took them off, didn't wash them, and
For
put them
6
back on.
days?
Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Is it
possible?
Is it
I could be an
likely?
astronaut tomorrow, but am I going to be?
Right. I'm saying, is it likely? No, not likely. And my question would be, what is the motive to rule this a suicide? Who doesn't, why would you do that? Why would you go out of your way to do that? Why not just do a straight up investigation?
I have no idea. There had to have been some kind of motive. I would like to know the motive if you want the truth. But listen to this. Listen to this. On April 14th, 6 days after his body was discovered, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer, which is a newspaper, reported that Cobain was high on heroin when he pulled the trigger. The paper reported the toxicology test determined that the level of morphine in Cobain's bloodstream was 1.52 milligrams per liter and that there was evidence of Valium as well. With this amount of heroin and Valium, and if you know anything about drugs, people, benzodiazepines and morphine or any kind of opiates do not mix well together. We actually call that the coma cocktail when you put those two together. So the fact that anybody could think he could take that much heroin, some Valium, and still be able to, be lucid enough to grab a shotgun and kill himself, it's not only is it not possible, but when people do those drugs, they are not in a desperate, depressed state while they're high. Okay. He would not have shot himself while he was high. It's just not feasible. It doesn't pass the smell test. It's not realistic.
And here's another thing, Jack. The shotgun handling issues. Analysis of the Remington Model 11 shotgun and crime scene photos suggests Cobain could not have operated or fired it in a reported position, especially with the claimed hand placement, and the weapon might have been placed in his arms afterwards. If this would have happened today, in this time that we live in now, a lot of this stuff, I don't think this happens, because this is one of those cases where there are so many things that are just blatantly kind of staring at you in the face.
You just asked those. You heard what you just said, right? The shotgun was found in his arms.
Right.
If you blow your head off with a shotgun, how the hell is it going to land? Do you know the kick that a shotgun makes?
He caught it on the way down, Jack.
Oh, yeah. I don't think people understand the kind of kick, the recoil that a shotgun makes. If you put it up to your head, first of all, your head's going to be against the wall. Second of all, as soon as you pull, you're going to be dead. The shotgun is not going to be here. It's going to slam against the wall over there. Okay. It's not going to be in your arms, cradled like a baby. No.
I think there's plenty here to reopen this investigation. They should just do it. They should just do it. Just get it over with. And like I said, all those people are retired. Just do it. Why not? What's the resistance? If you're wrong, you're wrong. You made a mistake. We got it wrong. Now, if it's not a suicide, we have suspects that we have to find, right? Maybe
Courtney
that's why
Love is number one on that list. But everybody, real quick, we're going to do another poll real quick. Check this out, okay? Do you believe Kurt Cobain committed suicide? Type 1 for yes in the chat. If you're in the chat, type 1 for yes, 2 for no, and we will see what everybody thinks, if he actually committed suicide or not. Because not everybody believes everything, that we believe. So we'll see what people think. I happen to think I don't see how anybody could think he committed suicide at this point.
Or another question you could ask, this is fine because I said 2. Or another question, should this investigation be reopened? 1 or 2, yes or no? I think it absolutely
But Deborah,
should be
just so
open.
you know, you don't have to say no. If you press 1 or 2, it automatically puts it into the poll for you. But we've had plenty of responses now, and everybody says no. Everybody's saying no. It's obvious that the man was murdered. And if it's obvious now, that means it should have been obvious then.
Different time. Totally different time. Like I said, this kind of thing could kind of go, under the radar back then, Jack. You had no internet at all, really.
But they were still police officers, right?
Yeah.
They knew how to investigate stuff.
If I'm doing that investigation, from what we look at now, I would kind of, that note alone would really raise your antennas, right? The note alone.
Are you
forensics. I mean, right? The forensics. My God. Yeah. And you don't have to be
Oh boy.
No, you don't have to be a forensics like expert to kind of see like, wait, the gun ended up back in his arms, all that stuff, the positioning, the heroin, the amount of drug. There's a lot of things here. Reopen the stupid investigation, please. But I said, if they do, Jack, then you got to look for suspects. And
Courtney Love, number one suspect is Courtney Love.
Yeah. So the thing is, what's the motive? I'm gonna ask the question again. Maybe somebody can come up with an answer. Was there something going on with Courtney Love that they didn't want this to come out? They didn't want her to be a suspect. They didn't want the
that's very
bullseye
possible
on her. No pun intended, if you know what I mean. I don't know, but it's very strange. This isn't going to go away. I don't think people are going to leave it alone. I think Phantom wrote up there before that the police chief who was there at the time said if he was still there, he'd reopen it.
Yeah, but Phantom actually did something really cool. I want to show everybody this real quick. Jay, check this out. So Phantom actually put up, he sent you and me both this. It's a 30-minute montage that he put together of evidence about the Kurt Cobain thing. I want to show everybody this. I'm not going to play it because it's 30 minutes long, but I want to show everybody if they want to see it themselves. I want people to be able to see it. So I'm going to show them where to find it. Okay, so check this out, guys. You can go on X, obviously, and you go to Phantom MAGA. It's at Phantom MAGA. Check this out. All right, it's at Phantom MAGA. And it says, was Kurt Cobain murdered? I just dropped an explosive 30-minute montage compilation footage that they don't want you to see. I'll play like a minute of it just so everybody can see.
Charlie Kirk.
Not only does he talk about it, but he uses AI renderings to be able to show you, the different types of things that happen.
You were inspired kind of by the Kurt Cobain thing.
This is the evidence right here. Look at this.
The Seattle chief of police just said they would reopen the case based on that. And
I would tell you right now that if I were the chief today, I would reopen this investigation.
The Kurt Cobain.
He was the chief of police back when. Wait. Is that what that said? He was the chief of police back then?
Yeah, that's what that said.
The Seattle chief of police just said they would reopen the case based on that. And
I would tell you right now that if I were the chief.
The man was the chief of police during this murder. So tell me, if you're willing to reopen it now, what the hell was going on back then?
Good question. I'm going to look up his name right now. And Norm Stamper.
What the hell was going on back then?
Says he'd reopen the case. Let me see let's see what we got here.
But real quick, everybody, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm not gonna keep playing it, but I want to tell you, go check it out. You can watch the entire thing at Phantom MAGA on X. It has shotgun fingerprints that weren't checked for nearly, however long. It's got undeveloped crime scene photos that sat in storage for 20 years. It's got a lot of different evidence. So make sure you check it out at Phantom MAGA. You guys will really enjoy it. I can promise you that much.
He said, Jack, here's what he did say. He said, if we didn't get it, he said in 2015, I guess that's what that was from. He said, if we didn't get it right the first time, we damn well better get it right the second time. And I would tell you right now, if I were the chief of police, I'd reopen this investigation.
Why didn't they get it right the first time?
That's a good question. I wish somebody would have said that to him. Maybe they did ask him, but that's from me. It's from the documentary Soaked in Bleach.
I wonder if he's still alive. I'd like to get him on the show. I got a couple questions to ask him.
Yeah, I think he is still alive because it mentions that he hasn't commented on he hasn't made any new statements about anything tied to the 2025 or 2026 forensic review.
Check and see if he's still alive for me, Jay. I'm gonna look up. Just type in his name, see if he's still alive. I'm gonna look up this man. We're gonna try to get the former Seattle police chief on this show for you sometime this coming week. We're gonna try to get him on the show because we got some questions that need answers. I want to ask him about that investigation.
He's apparently still alive. He's in his early 80s, born in 1944. I don't know if what kind of health he's in. He is old. He's in his 80s.
As long as he can speak, I'm happy.
Yeah, but I don't know. What is there? No reports of his death. The obituaries. Okay, so
say his name's Norm What is his full name?
Just says Norm Stamper. That's
not Norman.
Norman Stamper.
Norman Stamper. Okay.
Norman Stamper.
I'm gonna look on X real quick, just see if he's even available on X. If he's not, I'll try.
It says he's kept a very low profile since retiring in 2000, but he did do that interview.
Yeah, he's probably kept a low. He's not on X, but I'm sure I can find some way to reach him. So I'm going to try to reach out to Norm Stamper. I'm sure I can find his contact info somewhere. I'm going to reach out to Norm Stamper and see. And Clipper Chick, the bandmates would be good, except for the fact that they're biased in this situation. They don't want to believe that he was murdered. For some reason, they don't want to believe that. Every single thing that they have said has tried to get it to where he committed suicide. So I don't need them on the show because I know their answer.
And besides, I don't think Dave Grohl would like our show very much. He's
I don't know who that is.
He's the drummer. Well, he's also the drummer. He's also the lead singer of the Foo Fighters. That's Dave Grohl.
Foo Fighter. Where the hell do you get these names? What the fuck is a Foo Fighter?
He became huge. They became huge. Dave Grohl
what is
made
a Foo Fighter?
I don't know, but whatever it is, they made a lot of money, and they've made a lot of good songs too. I'll give them that. I liked a lot of their music, but Dave Grohl's not a very conservative guy. Let's put it that way.
I don't know what a Foo Fighter is. So,
well, good luck. I don't either.
All right, Jay. So apparently, NASA chief wants to make Pluto great again. Would you believe this? My entire middle school, high school, my entire schooling life, Pluto was a planet. Yes. Pluto was a planet. As soon as I graduate, Pluto's no longer a planet. Now, a 10-year-old writes a letter to the NASA chief, and the NASA chief, we are working on classifying Pluto as a planet again. What in the hell is going on?
Well, Jack, a judge has already come out and said that no, NASA cannot do that. They're not allowed. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're being sarcastic. But can you see that happening too?
I could very well see that happening. But I think NASA's part of the swamp. I don't think a judge would do that.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to find out now. I'm looking now. Why? I forget why Pluto was declassified. So
because it wasn't a solid planet.
It also here you go, Jack. It's
not a solid planet.
It says to be called a planet, an object must satisfy all three of these. 1, must orbit the sun. 2, must have enough mass for its own gravity to pull it into a nearly round spherical shape called a hydrostatic equilibrium.
It was just a big ball of ice, basically.
Well, it says, and 3, it must have cleared the neighborhood around its orbit, meaning its gravity has removed or dominated most other object of a similar size in its path. So it says, or it fails because of the cleared the neighborhood rule. It doesn't clear the neighborhood around its orbit, meaning its gravity has removed or dominated most other objects of a similar size in its path. That's why it says it fails.
What the fuck does that have to do with being a planet?
That's what they came up with. 2006. That's how long ago that happened already when they declassified.
Oh, I know. When I graduated, it was still a planet. But now, thanks to a letter from a 10-year-old, the NASA chief is considering classifying it as a planet. Let me read this letter to you, okay?
Go ahead. Yep.
From the 10-year-old. Dear NASA, please make Pluto a planet again. I really want it to be a planet again. Here are some reasons that Pluto should be a planet again. Number 1. It is part of our solar system and used to be a planet. Oh, that's a great argument. Number 2, it is a dwarf planet and deserves to be an actual planet. What in the hell? Okay. Number 3, it might make a lot of people happy, Jay. I think that's my favorite reason. It might make a lot of people happy. And then it says, it might not be your choice, but if it is, please, 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 3 pleases, make it a planet. It would make me very, very happy. If you can't make it an actual planet, please consider it a planet. What? And I'm sorry if my handwriting or spelling is hard to read. Anyway, it will make me and my friends very happy. Here are some facts to prove I know about Pluto. Okay. Number 1, Pluto is a dwarf planet. Number 2, Pluto is located in the Kuiper belt. I don't know what the hell that says. Number
what belt?
Is smaller. Pluto was discovered in 1930 by Clyde Tombaugh. Number 4, Pluto is smaller than Earth's moon. And number 5, Pluto has 5 known moons. Thank you, NASA. Bye. So what basically the 10-year-old's arguments are, it would make me really happy. It used to be a planet, and it would make my friends really happy.
I don't think
because of those arguments, the NASA chief is considering reclassifying it as a planet.
I don't think a 10-year-old wrote that. I know who wrote that.
Joe Biden.
Kamala Harris. I was going to say
it was
Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris, maybe she helped them, and maybe she helped Biden, and also Ketanji Brown Jackson might have helped as well.
But they're considering reclassifying it as a planet just because of this great arguments that he laid out, Jay.
I think if they do it based on that letter, I think they should just based on that. It would be outstanding.
That's exactly what they're doing. That is exactly what they're doing. Take a look right here.
I love it.
10-year-old child writes to NASA administrator asking he reinstate Pluto's status as a planet. NASA responds, we are looking into this. We are looking into this.
I love it. I love it. I hope they do it. That'd be funny.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Hey, listen, shoot your shot.
At least if you're going to shoot your shot. I mean, I understand he's 10 years old, but the man had not one single argument.
Come on, he's 10. Give him a break.
Not one single argument, though. Not one.
But no, but Jack, as I'm saying, though, a lot of politicians in Washington don't have an argument either. So you know what? If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for a 10-year-old.
Now, how would you like to know that? How would you like to know that actually, believe it or not, Gavin Newsom's wife killed her own sister, and she admits to killing her sister.
Nothing would surprise me. Did she kill her with her shoulder movements, swinging her arms? Like what? How did she kill her?
No, she ran over her in a golf cart.
She
True story. True story.
Killed her with a golf cart.
Killed her sister with a golf cart. True story.
Was there alcohol involved?
Not that I am aware of, but but I want you to hear what she says, Jay.
Even worse.
I want you to hear what she says right here. Okay, this is Gavin Newsom's wife. All right, so everybody, just take a listen to this and tell me what you think.
I mean, I had to be very raw when we interviewed the young men who were juvenile offenders in San Quentin. I told them about my own loss, where I lost my older sister a few days before my 7th birthday, and I blame myself for her death. And I share that because that they ultimately were accused of committing these violent crimes and sentenced for life. And I think it shocked them that this, blonde lady who was, interviewing them had a similar story. Was perhaps
a similar story. She's implying that all of them were killed those people by accidents. That's what she's implying right there.
Perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place at the wrong time. That's what she's implying for everybody.
But wasn't punished the way they were, because clearly it was an accident, but theirs was probably an accident too.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh
Whoa. Did you hear what she said? Gavin Newsom's wife, with a straight face, just said that every murderer in San Quentin, their murders were probably an accident too. You heard it straight from Gavin Newsom's wife's mouth. Jennifer Newsom just said that every murderer in San Quentin probably murdered by accident. You heard it.
Make it stop. That's the first partner, by the way, Jack. She calls herself the first partner. Keep those people. Please keep them within 1,000 miles of the White House.
Anyway, I share that just because
she ran over and killed her sister. Ran over and killed her sister with a golf cart.
Yeah, 1,000 miles away from the White House, please, her and her husband. That woman is insufferable. Let me go to San Quentin, where I got guys that are stone cold murderers and actually going to
serial killers in San. Hell, Manson used to be in San Quentin.
And let me make it all about me. I mean, the narcissism is off the charts, first of all. Second of all, what she's saying, it was probably an accident for them too. You want these people in charge of anything, let alone they're in charge of the fourth largest economy in the world, her husband?
Jay, now you know why they let all these prisoners out on no cash bail, why they don't charge them, because all of their crimes are probably an accident.
It's an accident. It's an accident. I slipped. I tripped into the store when I robbed it, and then I tripped again when I killed the clerk. And then I
tripped on this woman about 20 times in the chest. I was holding this knife. I tripped. I fell up. I fell again. Got up, fell. Got up, fell 20 times. And before I knew it, she was dead.
I don't care that she's not the one running for office. That disqualifies Gavin Newsom from being president of the United States.
It's insanity. It's insanity.
Her alone. Forget about how bad his record is, how awful he's been as a governor, how he's destroyed California. That alone, those, 2 minutes disqualifies Gavin Newsom from being the governor. Because if that's who you chose to marry, your judgment is just it's garbage. It's garbage. That woman is insufferable.
Jay, what if I'm gonna switch topics just for a second. What if I were to tell you that Iran is gonna be Iran is gonna be nuked on Saturday? What if I were to tell you that? And what if I were to tell you how I know that?
Yeah, I'd say it's not gonna happen. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how I know that.
Okay.
All right. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, his corruption trial starts back on Sunday. So you can almost guarantee Iran's getting nuked on Saturday, because the reason that his trial was delayed was the Iran war. Shocker, right? That's the reason the trial was delayed. They went to war with Iran. Well, if his trial's back on Sunday, you better believe something big's going to happen Saturday, Jay. You better believe it.
Oh, God. Here we go. No, listen.
You better believe it.
I don't believe that.
I mean, there's a reason he's on trial for corruption. That motherfucker's as corrupt as they come.
Well, listen, all right, hold on. that's the same thing they said about President Trump. He's corrupt as they come. There's a reason.
But see, his predecessor is in prison for corruption. Israel breeds corrupt politicians, so that's why I can believe that much. Plus, he has actually been charged with corruption prior to this. It's why he lost the election for prime minister, and then he came back, suddenly won, and now he's corrupt again. And if you've ever seen the interviews of him inside the jail when they're interviewing him, you can tell he even admits to some of the shit that they talk about. The man is just corrupt as they come.
All right, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Iran will not get nuked on Saturday.
Not actually nuked. I mean, come on. But something is going to happen to delay his trial. I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, right now, Iran's doing everything they can to make that the war ending getting delayed, because President Trump finally came out today.
So is Israel. Israel.
Well, but Iran is not letting ships through the Straits of Hormuz, and President Trump acknowledged that this afternoon. He said, doesn't look like they're being honorable.
I told you, they're not scared of him.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with scared. I just think there's a lot more going on here.
They're just not scared of him.
Did you watch that thing I sent you today? Watch it when you get a chance. I sent it to you this morning. It's very interesting. There's a lot going on here.
Wait. Deborah, Did Deborah just say that Bibi is a good man? Is that what she said? She read his book, the book that he wrote, and said he's a good man? Is that what I'm reading?
That is what she's saying. I don't know.
Benjamin Netanyahu, a good man. In fact, I think that's the first time I've ever heard that. I've never heard good man and Benjamin Netanyahu. Never.
Oh, I never met the man.
I think a little bit of research needs to be done before you don't worry about his book. I'm sure his book is going to tell you whatever you want to hear. But I would do some extra research before I call Benjamin Netanyahu a good man. In fact, look into his corruption trial. Look at the evidence that the prosecution has just for the corruption trial alone.
Listen, all that aside, I'll let that justice take care of itself. The wheels of justice in Israel, which I don't even know how their system works. If it's similar,
they actually have believe it or not, they have a great system. That's why I said the previous prime minister is in prison because of the same corruption.
Well, I mean, can we bring some of that maybe justice to the United States? Because we have a bunch of them here.
I would love it.
You know, they tried to put President Trump in prison 50 times, but he never actually did anything wrong. So that didn't work out. But there's plenty here that have done things wrong, and somehow they're still serving in office and making millions of dollars on stock trades.
Hang on,
anyway,
Jay.
I digress.
She said his book is all telling on what has happened in Israel. Let me tell you something. There is no book in the world history where the person writing the book is going to admit to anything corrupt, anything negligible, anything horrible. See, and that's the thing right there. People try to say, now do Zelensky, now do this, now do that. I'm focused on this right now. This person's trial is restarting on Sunday. Okay, we're not going to go off of everything. You know what I mean? We're not going to go off of everything.
Listen, again, I don't predict if something happens on Saturday, it won't be because of the trial. It'll be because things are falling apart. Now, the talks are supposed to start Saturday with J.D. Vance and Witkoff and Kushner and everybody else in Islamabad. So we'll see what happens. President Trump is now first starting to actually put out publicly that Iran is not doing what it's supposed to do when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz. Forget about Lebanon and Israel and Hezbollah. That is a separate thing. The Strait of Hormuz should remain open because the United States is not violating any part of their agreement, but Iran is, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what
so is Israel.
Does. Well, Israel. How is Israel violating?
Well, I can tell you one thing. Iran. The reason that this whole thing fell apart is because Iran thought that Lebanon was part of the talks. They thought it was, and apparently the U.S. said it wasn't, and Israel said it wasn't. So Israel's the one that fucked it up because they kept bombing Lebanon, even if it wasn't part of the talks. Oh, they could stop bombing Lebanon for a day, long enough to get this shit figured out. But instead they said, nope, I'm going to go ahead and bomb. Hold on. Israel was also being bombed by Hezbollah, as they are all the time. So I don't think any side stopped from Lebanon. Wasn't Israel didn't stop and Hezbollah didn't stop. So I don't want to blame one. I don't want to say it's Israel's fault that what is it supposed to do? If Hezbollah didn't stop, is Israel supposed to stop? I mean, is that what's supposed to happen here? That's my question. Can you hear me? Oh shit. How do you well. Oh well. I was trying to ban somebody and delete them. It's a bot in the system, and I accidentally banned and deleted somebody else.
Uh-oh. I see it.
How do you fix that?
I don't know. You got to control that.
Oh well,
You
it's
have the
too late
control.
now. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. But I'll try to for if there's a person at, how do you say his name?
Dashanized.
At Dashanized. If you were banned, I apologize. We will unban. You just got to figure out how to do it. I was trying to ban the bot that's in the freaking thing, but I can't. I apologize for accidentally banning you. I will figure out how to unban you when the show is over, Jay.
All right. Yeah, no, but what I was saying is if Hezbollah is firing, Israel's not going to stop firing. And maybe Iran, maybe they should understand. I mean, were they in the peace talks or were they just pretending to be there? How do you just not know that Lebanon wasn't included? How do you just, I just didn't know that. What do you mean you didn't know? Again, I don't believe anything coming out of the country of Iran. I never did. And why people are taking what Iran says at face value at this point is really kind of strange to me. Because I don't want any equivocation between Iran and United States and Israel when it comes to how we fight wars or how we deal with conflicts. Those people tell their citizens and force them to be human shields, like we discussed the other night, when they told them to surround infrastructure to prevent it from being, glassed by President Trump. So that's a war crime. I don't want any equivocation between that. So that's got to stop. Regardless how you feel about the Israeli government or the United States government.
Oh, I feel about them.
But there's no equivocation between Iran and United States and Israel. And I'll say this, there's probably no equivocation between Iran and the surrounding Middle Eastern countries in that area. These people are the most barbaric animals, evil scum on the face of the earth.
All right, I'm trying to help them out here, Jay. While you're talking, I mean, I'm listening, but I'm kind of trying to, at the same time, unban this person. I apologize for doing that. And there's literally, there's no way to unban somebody here, at least not that I can see. Jay, while we're doing this, see if you can find something. I mean, what the hell is this? You ban somebody, but you can't unban somebody?
I don't know. I don't understand how that happens.
There should be a button that says unban, right?
You should be able to bring them back.
You would think. I mean, that would be... that's what you would think would be the case. See, here's the chats right here. But Dashanized is blocked, and I can't unblock him.
Oh no.
Well, we're gonna figure it out. We will figure it out, Dashanized. Don't worry. We will get you back on there. We might have to wait till next show because we're gonna have to do it after the show because apparently there's nothing inside the studio.
You can't go on X. Is he banned? Because that's the X chat, right? Or is this just the StreamYard
No.
chat?
This is all chats. He's banned from StreamYards. So that's all chats.
Gotcha.
I had to ban the bot that was in here, Automan bot that was in here. I had to ban him from Rumble because on Rumble you can't ban him on here.
Okay. All right.
But this guy I was able to ban on here, and I didn't mean to. I thought it was just an accident. It was an accident.
Who, the auto thing?
No, he was a bot. I'm talking about Dashanized. It was an accident that I blocked him.
All right, Dashanized. We'll get you back.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get you back. Don't worry. Okay, Jay. Actually, I want to tell everybody real quick while we got a moment here.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow it's a Friday show, and we are actually going and in honor of the moon, the whole NASA moon thing. Tomorrow we are going to show definitive, at least what I say is definitive proof that the moon landing never happened. And this is going to be the last time we talk about any space stuff really until the 2028 moon mission when they actually try to land on the moon again. But the reason we're showing this is because everybody needs to see the full picture, the actual evidence. The stuff we've shown you is nothing compared to what you will see tomorrow night. It's a 40-minute video. Okay, we're gonna come on. We're gonna introduce ourselves. We're gonna show the video. Afterwards, there's gonna be 20 minutes left. Jay and I are gonna take questions from the audience, and we're gonna talk about it because this is the biggest hoax in world history. Okay, and we're gonna prove it tomorrow night. And I can promise you, after you see this video, nobody, Neil Armstrong himself, will be questioning whether he went to the moon after you see this video. Guaranteed.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that because, as you know, I'm on the fence about all of it.
Oh, man, this is going to throw you over the damn fence. It's going to pick you up and toss you over that mother.
We will see. We will see. You never know. You never know.
Best video I've ever seen. I stumbled upon it today. Best video I have ever seen. And I watched a lot of moon landing evidence shit. This one puts it all together.
And you said this is done by a I don't want to say reputable, a mainstream network, so to speak.
It was on PBS, believe it or not.
PBS. All right. Well, we know PBS which way they lean, so they're definitely
they're educational. They don't lie. And just so everybody knows, I verified, and it took me a long time. It was a process. I had to pause it, verify that fact, pause it. I verified every single thing in this video, and it is 100% true. There is not one lie, which is weird, you would think, coming from PBS, but there is not one lie in this video that has to do with this. And you can verify yourself. Feel free. When we play it, pause it, verify yourself. None of it's a lie. So I was shocked by that myself.
Well, yeah, PBS isn't going to come at it from a hoax standpoint. That's not what they're going to do.
No. It is from a hoax standpoint.
From PBS?
They're not calling it a hoax. Mm-hmm. What they're doing is they're showing the other side. It's like a devil's advocate kind of thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
You'll see. It's very well done. The production value, very well done.
And we promise until 2028, this will be the last moon show. Okay, this will be the last moon show for a while.
Until the moon landing in 2028, the moon landing, this will be the last one tomorrow. But you're not going to want to miss it, because if you're on the fence, if you're against it, if you think the moon landing absolutely happened, you're the one that needs to watch the show tomorrow night. Because I can promise you, once you see this video, you will come away believing, knowing that we did not go to the moon.
All right, looking forward to it. We'll see what happens.
Very good.
We'll see what happens. We'll see if I am converted tomorrow.
Oh, you'll be converted. You'll be perverted is what you'll do. All right, so let me show everybody real quick. Scan the QR code right here, maxassociates.etsy.com. You scan this QR code, it will take you right to the shop, and you will absolutely love it. I mean, the American products, USA Pride gifts, patriotic apparel that they have, like I said, Jay and I do not we will not take a sponsor for something that we would not use ourselves. And we've both ordered products from this site ourselves.
Yes,
excellent stuff. Excellent stuff, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. I've ordered, and I'll probably order a couple more things as time goes on from that site.
Definitely. The stuff they got is excellent. Yep. So maxassociates.etsy.com. You can go to the website, or you can scan the QR code up there on the top right there. You can scan that QR code. But trust me, you will love that shop. Absolutely. So Jay, we still got about 7 minutes. Let's talk about something real quick. Just quickly. I want to say the the turning of Trump on people that helped get him elected is bothering me.
No, it's not bothering me. It's about freaking time.
It's bothering me.
He's waited long enough.
What I know, Alex Jones literally bled for this man, bled for him.
Well, politics,
but the man criticizes him about. Oh, and by the way, for everybody out there, the criticisms are mainly just set on the Iran war and what happened because of the Iran war. It's not anything else. They all still have their same conservative ideals. It's just the Iran war, which none of us voted for. It's exactly the opposite of what we voted for. Now, Jay, are you for it? You're a 100% Trumper. You're going to be for whatever he does. But I'm saying it's not something we voted for. And they know that.
Hold on. That is too simple of a statement. This is not a forever war. Listen, everybody was afraid ground invasion, this and that. That hasn't happened yet. Right now, there's a quote unquote ceasefire within the 5 to 6 week period that he promised. We are not in a forever war. He has laid out very plainly what the objectives were. Now, you can agree or disagree whether or not those have been achieved.
Well, it's just something we didn't vote for, man. That's the bottom line.
But I mean, how do we? A lot of things.
It doesn't matter if it's a forever war.
Did I vote for 9/11?
No wars.
Hold on. Did I vote for 9/11 to happen? And did I vote for us to have to go to a war in Afghanistan?
That's got nothing to do with this. He campaigned on no wars.
Some things happened.
He campaigned on no wars.
Some things, but he also campaigned on that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. And the point is,
that's something he said.
Things change.
He said, but it's not his campaign.
Things change. Is that allowed?
So then you basically. It's not a lie. Things just change. So if anybody lies, we can just say it changed from moment to moment.
What else has he lied about? What else has he lied about? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm not saying what else. I'm talking about this specific thing. This thing is what's dividing everybody, Jay. It's why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Alex Jones. It's why the people that were far on his side are not.
I disagree. Here's why I disagree. This isn't the only thing that they've talked about. All right. I'm going to tell you right now what they've talked about. Candace Owens, non-Iran criticism, non-Iran, right? Most vocal on the Jeffrey Epstein files, especially
that
claims.
too. That is
all right,
also a big issue.
Hold on. But this is what I'm talking about. So it's not just Iran. They've been
but
going after
it's not on his policies, Jay. It's on these specific things that the DOJ, first of all, the DOJ didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Well, hold on.
These are not policies, though.
But the point you were making is it's just on Iran, but it's
not.
Well,
I forgot about the Epstein stuff, but I'm going to say that those two things, those are too huge. Aren't those the two things that mattered the most? The
First
Epstein
of all,
files,
he never campaigned on going into the Jeffrey Epstein files. That was not he did not.
You're saying he
answered one question on Fox News, on Fox Morning, on Fox Weekend about the Epstein files. The people that we're talking about that were more like his sons that were more hard on the Epstein files. President Trump did not make a campaign speech to talk about the Epstein files. If he did it once, it would be a lot. It wasn't a core of his campaign. So let me just go right here. Candace Owens, most vocal on Jeffrey Epstein, repeatedly claims that Trump and Bondi are shielding elites and covering it up, calls it a terminal cancer inside
She's right.
MAGA. But she's not right, because here's the thing. Pam Bondi's messaging sucked. Horrible. With the Epstein files.
The DOJ, the whole Trump administration.
Candace Owens, who's supposed to be somebody that supports the president, went all in like a leftist Democrat on it. That's the problem. Here's another one. U.S. involvement in Venezuela saw it as unnecessary foreign entanglement. That was another World War III that was going to happen, another forever war, and it lasted about 12 hours. You and I praised it repeatedly on this show, how brilliantly that was executed. And she says satanic or Zionist influence inside the White House and calling Trump a mad king or deeply unwell. That's Candace Owens, and it has nothing to do with Iran. So is the president just supposed to sit here and take it for how long from Candace Owens, from Tucker Carlson, from Megyn Kelly before he smacks back?
Are there objections? Forget about the rhetoric. Are there objections? Let's say logical. Are there objections about what went on with the Epstein files and what's going on with the Iran war? Are they plausible objections?
They're over the top, Jack.
But are they plausible?
Even if they're plausible, some of them, you can have a disagreement in policy. It's the over-the-top rhetoric, which
I understand.
Mirrors Democrat talking points, and that's where it's gone off the rails.
But see, I understand. But see, if it's plausible, if what they're bringing up is relevant, if they are relevant objections that are real objections. See, that's the thing, though. The rhetoric might not be what everybody likes, but Trump's rhetoric is just as bad towards people.
I don't want to. That's a whataboutism. I don't want to whataboutism.
No, but I'm saying this is about Trump, though. That's what this is about.
But hold on. Their rhetoric is over the top. It's insanity. That's my point. Let me just go to Megyn Kelly real quick. Has Megyn Kelly talk? We know President Trump. We know how he talks. We know how he tweets. Everybody loved mean tweets. Now all of a sudden we don't. Ready? Megyn Kelly. Trump's crude, vulgar, personal style and social media behavior in general. Quote, I'm sick of this shit. Can't he just behave like a normal human? Still occasionally references their 2015 feud. Megyn
are
Kelly's
those valid objections? Are they valid?
Wait, all of a sudden, Megyn Kelly's offended. Megyn Kelly uses the F word about 20 times a podcast.
But are they
now
valid
she's offended by the president's rhetoric?
Are they out of left field and
yes,
completely ridiculous?
Yes, for them, it's out of left field. For a Democrat,
are they completely ridiculous objections?
For Megyn Kelly, it is a ridiculous, out of left field, 180 flip objection. That's the point.
You're telling me it's not a valid objection?
No. For Megyn Kelly, it's not, because Megyn Kelly's never complained about this ever, and now it's a 180 flip. We talked about this last night, the 180 flip.
I know we're don't complain about something, you can't ever complain about it then, right?
No. That's not what I'm saying. Mike, there's a way to object. There's a way to have a debate. These people have gone so crazy off the rails that it makes a debate with them impossible on it. Because all of a sudden, Donald Trump's the worst person in the world. He's the worst president in the world. He's an animal. He's a Zionist. He's this. Give me a break. Bring it down a few notches and let's have a discussion.
Well, the only person that's doing that, and Tucker Carlson, I don't think is saying all that much.
I have a little bit on. Let me go on Tucker real quick. Tucker,
well, his stuff is mostly about the Iran war.
Non-Iran, slow walking, insufficient release. Again, Epstein files.
Like I said, those are the two big things.
Okay, excessive alignment with Israel Netanyahu. Israel influence. That's true. But it's the way it's approached. It's the way it's approached.
I understand. I understand. You don't like the rhetoric. But see, the thing is, in America, even with terrible rhetoric, those free exchange of ideas are protected, and that's something that we have to cherish. We are supposed to be the party of law and order, the party of the Constitution. So even if their rhetoric is horrible, it still is protected by the thing that we cherish.
No one's arresting them.
No, we're not arresting them.
The president's allowed
but
to hit
we
him
are
back.
vilifying them for it.
The president himself. We were talking, and we have to go, but we have to go. It's late.
Oh,
we do have to
damn.
go.
I'm sorry, guys. We ran out of time that quickly. Okay. Make sure you follow us on X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Instagram. It's at Secret America TV. Make sure you go to maxassociates.etsy.com. You will not be sorry. For Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.